The Long Island medium will be visiting Victoria in October. Theresa Caputo, a renowned psychic medium famous for her series Long Island Medium, will perform at Save-On Foods Memorial Center on October 3rd. Reality television personality Theresa Caputo has declared a Canadian tour with a performance at the Save-On Foods Memorial Center. Caputo, a renowned psychic medium recognized for her TLC series, Long Island Medium, along with a podcast and several publications, will present Theresa Caputo Live, the experience at the arena on October 3rd. The event, during which she will receive first-hand spirit communication in response to audience inquiries, is one of 8 scheduled in Canada and marks Caputo's first appearance in Victoria since 2016. Organizers state that admission to the event does not ensure a reading with Caputo, whose interactions with audience members will be presented on a full-stage video display. Nonetheless, it was a tranquil December morning in Long Island. Snow enveloped the streets, creating a lovely white silence that follows an extensive nocturnal storm. Theresa Caputo stood in her living room, sipping coffee and perusing holiday cards when she felt the familiar tingling feeling up her arms. A spirit was present. She placed her cup down gradually. "She is youthful," Theresa murmured to herself. The energy was buoyant and whimsical, yet imbued with melancholy. That afternoon, Theresa was set to conduct a private reading for a woman named Carol, who had traveled from Ohio. Carol lost her sister in a vehicle accident during their childhood and aspired to reconnect with her. However, when Theresa engaged in conversation with her, it was not the sister who emerged. "She is diminutive," Theresa said, her eyes shut, focusing intently. "A young female child. Not your sibling." She claims she did not have the opportunity to open her Christmas presents. Carol became immobilized. Her hands quivered little. Theresa elaborated. She possessed lengthy, curly brown hair. Possibly 6 years of age? She claims she awaited Santa, but never seen what he delivered to her. Carol's eyes filled with tears. "That is my niece," she murmured. "Emily. My niece. She perished in a conflagration on Christmas Eve 5 years prior." Theresa acquiesced, the spirit's presence intensifying. She expressed that she was exceedingly enthusiastic. She had set out cookies. She believed she perceived reindeer on the roof. Subsequently, it transpired with excessive rapidity. Carol wept. She wishes to convey that she was not afraid. She claims there was a woman accompanying her, a grandmother. "My mother," Carol affirmed. "She passed away when Emily was an infant." Theresa exhibited a smile. They were united. Interlocking fingers. "She desires for you to cease attributing blame to yourself for your absence." "I was scheduled to babysit that evening," Carol murmured. "However, I became ensnared in a snowstorm." "She asserts that you could not have altered anything," Theresa remarked softly. "She claims to visit you during the tree decoration. She adores the angel you placed above. She states, 'Aunt Carol crafted that for me.'" Carol succumbed to a gentle sob, acquiescing with a nod. "I did so in the year of her demise." Theresa then paused, her voice now subdued. "She is inquiring about something atypical. She desires to unseal her presents." Carol gazed upward. "She never had the opportunity to open them," Theresa continued. "However, she is aware that they remain in your attic." Carol inhaled sharply. "They exist. I lacked the resolve to discard them." Theresa acquiesced. "She desires you to open them. Individually. She asserts that she will accompany you. She desires to experience the thrill of Christmas morning. She asserts that she is already aware of the contents. She merely desires for you to perceive it as well." 1 week later, Carol sat on the attic floor, encircled by the unopened packages, still adorned with snowman wrapping paper and candy cane ribbons. As she unwrapped each item, one contained a doll, another a music box, and still another a storybook. She experienced a surge of warmth, akin to sunlight illuminating a frigid room. As she unwrapped the final gift, a little pair of pink gloves, the attic light flickered softly. In a tranquil setting, the distant laughter of a young girl resonated softly, imbued with the liberated joy of Christmas. It had been 7 months since Lisa Jennings lost her husband, Mark, in a horrific automobile accident on a wet night in Long Island. Left to rear two young children, Emma, aged 7, and Caleb, only 3, Lisa became engulfed in a haze of sorrow, fatigue, and isolation. Her days merged, consumed by diaper changes, school commutes, and the persistent sorrow of longing for someone who ought to have been around for goodnight narratives and Sunday morning waffles. Lisa was never inclined to believe in mediums or communications from the afterlife. Grief compels individuals to seek hope in previously unconsidered avenues. One evening, after the children had retired for the night, she perched on the edge of her bed, viewing reruns of Long Island Medium, tears discreetly streaming down her face as Theresa Caputo conveyed words of affection and resolution to individuals mourning their deceased relatives. A sensation awakened within Lisa. It like a whisper. A tempt. Several weeks later, Lisa found herself anxiously seated in a little waiting room in Hicksville, where Theresa Caputo was conducting individual sessions. She composed a letter months before, not genuinely anticipating selection. However, an unforeseen phone call from Theresa's team ensued. Now, she stood there, hands quivering, heart racing. Upon Theresa's entrance, her distinctive voluminous blonde hair and magnetic presence immediately enlivened the crowd. "Hello, dear," she replied affectionately, embracing Lisa as if they had been acquainted for an eternity. "Prior to commencing, I wish to express he is present. Your spouse. He has been awaiting." Lisa's eyes filled with tears immediately. She did not even need to utter his name. Theresa positioned herself opposite her, momentarily closing her eyes. "He continually presents to me a red truck. Did he operate one?" Lisa acquiesced. "It was his project. He cherished that truck," he states. "Inform her that I was not in distress." It occurred rapidly. Theresa hesitated briefly before stating, "He wishes for you to understand his immense pride in your resilience. Despite feeling disintegrated, you rose each day for the children." Lisa collapsed in tears. "I do not feel strong," she said. "I feel as though I am scarcely maintaining my composure." Theresa extended her arm and delicately grasped her hand. "He observes all. The evenings you remain awake folding laundry. Your method of lulling Emma to sleep, despite your heartache. The moment Caleb inquired about Daddy's whereabouts, you were at a loss for words and simply embraced him while weeping. He perceives everything." Amidst her sobs, Lisa sensed a transformation, akin to a window being unsealed in a long-closed chamber. "He continually presents me with drawings displayed on the refrigerator. Crayon illustrations. Rainbows and hearts. Emma creates illustrations for him," Lisa stated. She asserts it aids him in perceiving her. Theresa exhibited a smile. "He does. He asserts that he is always present whenever she sketches. Although he may be unseen, his presence will be palpable. To the music you once danced to together in the kitchen, amidst the abrupt scent of his perfume, during those sporadic flashes of illumination. That is him." Lisa let the words to envelop her. After months of not smiling, a faint, optimistic curve appeared on her lips. "One final matter," Theresa remarked quietly, as though attuned to a distant voice. He states, "Inform her that I will never overlook a birthday, Christmas, or graduation. I will be present in the front row shortly. Always." Upon the conclusion of the class, Lisa exited into the brisk afternoon atmosphere. After months, the world becomes somewhat more luminous. Her sorrow had not vanished, yet it suddenly felt altered, less burdensome. Reduced solitude. Upon returning home, she discovered Emma and Caleb awaiting at the window. Emma rushed into her embrace. "Did father communicate anything today?" Lisa nodded, tears of an alternate nature this time. "Affirmative, dear. He accomplished it. He expresses profound affection for you and is present with us. Consistently." For the first time in an extended period, Lisa genuinely believed it. Nonetheless, on a gloomy October afternoon in Queens, New York, the dense clouds reflected the burden in Margaret Rayleigh's heart. 4 years had elapsed since her son, Daniel, succumbed to a horrible accident. A reserved, imaginative 17-year-old had ventured out on a rainy night similar to this one and never returned. Margaret had recounted every moment of that evening innumerable times. What if she had instructed him to remain? What if she had observed an anomaly? What if she had the capacity to rescue him? Theresa Rayleigh, the younger sister of Margaret, implored her to explore another option. "Accompany me," she stated one evening during tea. "I believe you should meet someone." Margaret derided. "A medium? Do you believe that a woman on television can remedy my internal issues?" "No," Theresa replied gently, "but perhaps she can assist you in discerning what your heart already understands." Margaret acquiesced with reluctance. Thus, she found herself seated in a tranquil waiting room in Long Island, gazing at a photograph of Theresa Caputo, the renowned Long Island medium. She had observed her performance briefly, never placing much faith in such phenomena. However, the honesty reflected in Theresa Caputo's eyes in that snapshot caused her to hesitate. Upon Margaret's arrival, she entered a softly illuminated room where Theresa Caputo welcomed her with a serene, almost mother warmth. "You are burdened with considerable guilt," Theresa remarked, prior to Margaret taking a seat. "A young male presence is felt here." He departed abruptly. "Is he your son?" Margaret became immobile. Her lips quivered as she acquiesced. "He claims he is aware that you attempted to prevent him from leaving that night," Theresa remarked, tilting her head as though she were eavesdropping on a whisper just behind her. "However, he also asserts that he needed to depart. There was an imperative he felt compelled to fulfill. The responsibility was not yours. He wishes to convey that." Margaret's eyes filled with tears. Her hands clutched the armrests of her chair. Theresa persisted. "He is presenting a necklace, silver, adorned with a blue gemstone? You have been storing it in your drawer." Margaret inhaled sharply. "It belonged to him. I have been unable to wear it. He asserts that the time has come. He wants for you to don it and experience his proximity. He states, 'Inform mother that I am well. Inform her that I am exceedingly well. She was incapable of saving me as my fate was not to be salvaged. However, she salvaged my entire existence solely through her love.'" The words enveloped Margaret like a gentle wave. She wept openly, the type of crying that occurs when a long-held emotion is finally released. Theresa smiled softly. "He is also presenting me with drawings." "Did he create a drawing?" "He was perpetually drawing," Margaret murmured. "Predominantly celestial bodies, arboreal entities, the imaginative elements. He indicates that you will discover something he has left for you. An unseen being. Examine the box located in the attic. He asserts that you will recognize it upon observation." Margaret arrived home that evening with an unusual feeling of buoyancy. After years, she slept uninterrupted in the dark, devoid of breathlessness and haunting thoughts. The following morning, she ascended to the attic and retrieved the box that Theresa had mentioned. Concealed among his antiquated sketchbooks was an illustration she had never encountered, depicting her and Daniel clasping hands beneath a celestial canopy. In his recognizable, looping script, a message arched across the sky. "I remain with you, Mum. Do not bear burdens that do not belong to you. Continue to express affection. That is how you rescue me daily." Margaret grieved. However, this time it was a purifying, restorative lament. That afternoon, she adorned her neck with the silver necklace. It glimmered subtly in the light, as though the blue stone had captured a fragment of the sky. Although Daniel was absent, for the first time in years, Margaret sensed that he had ultimately returned home. Nonetheless, the afternoon in Hicksville, Long Island, was overcast, with the sky appearing to bear the burden of unexpressed melancholy. In a tranquil suburban residence, Melissa and David Patterson were seated opposite Theresa Caputo, the renowned Long Island medium. The parents contacted her after 2 agonizing years of silence, 2 years since their 4-year-old son, Ethan, perished in an abrupt accident at a local park. Melissa grasped a little blue teddy bear, Ethan's preferred toy, its fur frayed from the innumerable nights she wept into it. David sat rigidly beside her, his hands clenched into fists on his knees. He had not discussed Ethan's demise for several months. Words merely exacerbated the wounds. Theresa entered, her distinctive high hairstyle and assertive demeanor momentarily subdued by the ambience of the room. She seated herself, inhaled deeply, and shut her eyes. "A young boy is present," she murmured. "He possesses luminous eyes," he repeatedly exclaims. "Mommy, Daddy, I am fine." Melissa's palms swiftly covered her mouth. David blinked swiftly, his shoulders taut. "He is demonstrating a swing set to me," Theresa added, her voice quavering. "He claims he was soaring like a bird. He experienced no pain. The occurrence transpired rapidly. He lacked even the opportunity to experience fear." Melissa succumbed to tears. Ethan fell off a swing in the park, striking his head against a metal post. It occurred instantaneously. "He adored the swings," she wept. "He consistently claimed he was soaring when he swung high." Theresa nodded subtly, her voice becoming more assertive. "He wishes to inform you that he visits throughout the night. Upon hearing the creak in the hallway or observing the flicker of the nightlight, that is him. He expresses affection for your recitation of Good Night Moon to the Heavens. You engage in that behavior, do you not?" Melissa inhaled sharply. "Each night." I opened the window and recited aloud. David's eyes brimmed with tears. "I did not subscribe to any of this," he stated hoarsely. However, that information was unknown to everyone. No one was capable of doing so. Theresa gazed at both of them. Ethan embodies sheer luminosity. He claims to be accompanied by an individual referred to as Pop Pop, an elderly man who smokes cigars and plays the harmonica. David wept while laughing. "That is my grandfather." Ethan cherished him. Theresa exhibited a smile. "He is not solitary. He is with his family. He expresses pride in your efforts to grin once more. Particularly when you observed the rainbow last week, he claims he created that for you." Melissa and David embraced, an act they had not performed in months, without discomfort. At that moment, their sorrow did not dissipate, but rather transformed, eased somewhat by the enduring presence of love. As Theresa stood to depart, she hesitated at the threshold. "He mentions one additional matter," she stated. He states, "Inform Mother that I have located the stars she once counted. I now encounter them in my nightmares." That evening, Melissa opened the window, clutching the blue bear tightly. She commenced reading Goodnight Moon, her voice fluctuating between cracking and mending with each word. In a distant realm beyond the clouds, a young child beamed while swinging amidst the stars. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina. I hope your day is going well. If you like the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.